Hey, welcome back to your favorite technical mathematics class. We're going to talk about graphs of linear functions a little more in detail, including the slope of a line. So we did that a section ago by point plotting, right? So we created the table of values and we picked x values and plugged them in to find the line. Now we're going to talk about the slope of a line, which determines the steepness. Okay, so the slope of a line is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, so it tells you, how steep a line is. Like this one might have a slope that, for every 4 units up, it goes over 1, so it's a slope of 4. Okay, whereas this one, a much flatter, might be for every 1 unit up, it goes over 3. So it has a slope of 1/3. Okay, not as great of a slope. Okay, so slope is steepness, and the equation is the delta y, or change in y over the change in x. So it's y2 minus the y1 over x2 minus x1. So anytime you have 2 points, you can find the steepness of a line given with that equation. But it's the rise over the run, the vertical change to the horizontal change. So if you're given the rise and the run, since slope is rise over run, you just plug it in and your slope would be 4. Well, now on this one, where you're given 2 points, 4, 9, -3, -7, to see how steep that line is, you got to name it x1, y1, and x2, y2, and then you want to plug it into the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that'll tell you how steep the line is. So y2 is -7 minus your y1 here is 9 over x2, which is -3, minus your x1, which is 4. So it looks like you got -16 over -7, or 16/7 on that one. The next one you got 3, -3, and then you've got -6, 3. So again, name it x1, y1, x2, y2, and then plug it in to the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 3 minus the y1, which is -3, the x2 is -6, minus the x1, which is just a 3. So it looks like we got 3 plus 3 over -6 minus 3, -9, so this ends up being -2/3 is your slope there. And on this last one down here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus the x1. So -8 plus 8 is 0 over 2 plus 3 is 5. Well, 0 divided by anything is 0. So the slope is 0 for this. And if you think about the slope of a line that's 0, if you were to plot those points -3, -8, it's down here, and then you've got the point 2, -8 right here. If you were to draw this line, it's perfectly horizontal. That's why it's a slope of 0. There is no steepness to it, if you will. It's perfectly horizontal. So anytime you get a slope that's 0, you're going to have a horizontal line. Now, if you have a vertical line, what happens when you do that slope, you'll get some number on the top over a 0 on the bottom when you take 2 points and find the slope. Well, you can't divide by 0, so this slope is undefined. Slope is undefined for a vertical line. Okay. Alright, now let's use the intercept. So this is the x and y intercepts to graph equations. So we're going to graph this equation 3x plus y equals 3. So to find your x intercepts, you let y be 0, whereas to find your y intercepts, we're going to let x be 0. So let's first find our x intercept by letting the y be 0 and solving. So we're going to get 2 points once we do this. So 3x equals 3 divided by 3 divided by 3. So x is 1. So when y is 0, x is 1. So we got the point 1, 0. That's our first point on the graph. Now we're going to find our y-intercept. Remember, we only need 2 points for a line. That's all we need. So to find our y-intercept, now we're going to let our x be 0 this time. So y equals 3. When x is 0, y is 3. So we got the point 1, 0 right here. That's our x-intercept. Right? 1, comma 0. Whenever your y is 0, it's going to hit that x-axis. And then we got our y-intercept of 0, comma 3. So we plot that point. There's our y-intercept. It crosses our y-axis. That whenever our x is 0, it'll cross our y-axis. And then we can plot the point. Okay, let's do another one here. 5x minus 2y equals 20. Again, to find our x-intercept, we're going to let y be 0. To find our y-intercept, we're going to let x be 0. So let's let y be 0 first. So we got 5x minus 0 is 20. 5 by 5, x is 4. So 4, 0. Now we let x be 0. So 5 times 0 minus 2y equals 20. So that's gone. Divide by negative 2 on both sides. Y is negative 10. So we got 4, 0 and 0, negative 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. 4, 0 right there. Oh my goodness, come on, there we go. 4, 0, 0, negative 10. Anyways, that's down there, negative 10. Ugh. And we draw that thing from 0, negative 10 to 4, 0. We draw that line. Okay. Alright, now let's find the slope and the y-intercept and use them to graph the equation here. So when you're graphing using the slope and the y-intercept, you're using slope-intercept form. So that's mx plus b. M is your slope. Whoops, M stands for slope. And b is your y-intercept. Now remember, the y-intercept is whenever the x is 0. So if you're looking at this, if x is 0, it clears out that m. That's why the y-intercept is that b number right there. So let's do this first one. We got y equals negative 3x plus 2. You got to make sure it's in this form first. And then the first thing you're going to graph is your y-intercept. Well, your y-intercept is the b. Well, the b is 2. So that means your y-intercept is 0, 2 on the graph. So you put that on the graph. Your y-intercept is 2. It hits the point 0, 2. Now we're going to use our slope from there. So our slope, if you notice, m is negative 3. So slope is rise over run. So since the slope is negative 3, make it into a fraction. So negative 3 over 1 is the same thing as negative 3. And the rise tells you if you go up or down. If it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. The run tells you the horizontal change. So if it's positive number on the bottom, you go right. It's negative number on the bottom, you go left. So since it's negative 3, we're going to go down 3. And since it's a positive 1, we're going to right 1 from this y-intercept. So let's count it. Down 1, 2, 3, and then right 1. Okay? And then we're going to do it again. Right down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. As many points as you need to draw this. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1. So that's slope of negative 3. Oops, that's supposed to be a straight line. So there's the equation. Y equals negative 3x plus 2. Okay, so you graph your y-intercept first, and then you draw your slope from there, from that point, from that y-intercept. Let's do the next one here. Y equals 3/4 x. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals 3/4 x minus 2. So number 1, what's our y-intercept? What's our b? Well, the b is negative 2. That means we have the point 0, negative 2 on the graph. Number 2, what's our slope? Well, slope is rise over run. Or slope here, if you notice, the m is 3/4. Well, that's a positive 3. Up or down for positive 3? Up. Right or left for the positive 4 on the bottom? Right. So from this point 0, negative 2, we start out with, from a y-intercept of negative 2, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put a dot. And we go up 3, and right 4, and we're going to put a dot, and so on. And I should make the point here, you know, positive 3 over positive 4, this is the exact same thing as negative 3 over negative 4. We could go down and to the left. We could go down 3 and left 4, and we'd still be on the line. You see that? Because negative 3 over negative 4 is still a positive 3/4. Alright, let's do this next one. We got 5x minus 2y equals 40. Now notice this is not in the y equals mx plus b form. Y is not solved for. So the first thing you got to do if it's not is you got to solve for y. So negative 2y is negative 5x plus 40. Then divide everything by negative 2. So you got it in the form negative over negative is positive 5 halves x. 40 over negative 2 is a minus 20. Now do you see how that's in that mx plus b form there? So your b is negative 20. So that's the first point you'd put on your graph. As you go down 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I probably should have just gone by 2's. But anyways, y-intercept is negative 2. And then we're going to go up 5, positive 5, and right 2 from there. Up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 2. And then up 5 and right 2 again. Up 5, right 2, anyways, and so on, and we draw that thing. I think you guys kind of got the picture here. So, alright, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys in class.